So, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, and by now you've realized that my face isn't in this video. As a matter of fact, the only visual that you're looking at is the Justice League logo. And that's because, as opposed to most of the video reviews that I do for action figures, products, television shows, movies, I'm usually trying to be a little bit entertaining, at the same time as informative. That being said, I feel like my face would be a distraction in this video. I feel like this is probably the most important DC Comics television or movie review that I've ever done on this channel. And so I really don't want my face to be distracting. So that's why there's no face cam in this video. Now on to the meat and potatoes. Today, I watched the Snyder Cut. We don't get the HBO Max here in Canada. We got to watch the Snyder Cut on Crave. And just like everyone else who watched this movie, I went into it excited and just knowing that I was in for the ride of my life as far as DC Comics superhero movies go. I knew this was not going to be the status quo. It was going to be something very different. Now, anyone who thinks that Zack Snyder's vision for the Justice League is anything like the theatrical release is really, sadly, very, very mistaken. This is something far more noteworthy and is every bit as huge as the fans who have supported the hashtag release the Snyder Cut all along had hoped it would be. It is far more comprehensive and visually stunning than its predecessor. And to call this movie anything less than a completely new and different film would be sorely inaccurate. If you are going into this cinematic experience expecting to see nothing more than merely a recut Joss Whedon Justice League, then you are in for a very big surprise. I want to preface the rest of this review by saying no less than 6 times was I moved to tears. And a few times, I burst out in laughter. Not because of a spectacle, but out of sheer joy at the visuals that I was seeing, at the themes I was witnessing. And that not one time over the entire 4 hours, 2 minutes, and 31 seconds of runtime did I even feel myself inching towards boredom or disinterest. With this movie, not one scene was a throwaway visual or filler, and not one line of dialogue was frivolous or wasted. Not one. Among this movie's main themes, we have a deep emphasis on the value of teamwork and being stronger when unified together. Redemption, forgiveness, perseverance, all emphasized as aspects of the goodness that is embodied in each of our heroes. This film really is so much deeper than the theatrical cut. The stakes they feel tangibly so much higher than in the previous cut. And the soundtrack is just beautiful. This movie is a character ensemble that focuses enough time and attention on each prevalent personality so as to have us, the viewers, actually care about each one individually. We want to know more about their stories and their development as an individual character during their own unique story arc. Batman is vengeful. Wonder Woman is graceful. Superman is awe-inspiring and hopeful. Cyborg is clearly the heart and soul of the team. And Barry, well, he's Barry. And the same can be said for Aquaman. But plenty of time was actually given to the characters who were just sort of treated in the original 2017 theatrical release as one-liners and place fillers. Cyborg, Alfred, The Flash, all of their backstories restored, thus giving us a reason to care about them. This film, in my opinion, is a masterpiece, and it should have been criminal to not have finished it in the first place, and then, subsequently, to not have finished the next two films. Let this film, and the success thereof, be an example of what happens when rich movie executives will not allow a director to be able to see their vision all the way through to the end. Because this movie is surely a triumph of epic proportions. To the naysayers of the hashtag Release the Snyder Cut movement, who say that Zack Snyder's vision of the DC universe is not superhero-ish enough, I would say in return that if you were expecting the Justice League to be just another superhero movie, then again you are greatly mistaken. Because the Justice League is not, nor was it ever intended to be, just another superhero movie. The image was always much deeper and much grander and much more philosophical. I would argue that it is not a superhero movie at all, but rather an exploration of what makes a good hero in the face of extreme adversity. So where does that leave the theatrical release of the Justice League from 2017? That Frankenstein of a movie, cobbled together from the picked clean carcass of Zack's original cinematographic footage, and new footage from the mustache-filled reshoots? Horribly and unmistakably in the dust. That's where this cut leaves the 2017 theatrical cut, in the dust. Zack intended to begin an epic that would span 3 films and tell the complete tale of the Justice League's fight against the nearly unsurmountable power of Darkseid and his hordes to unite the world and save humanity. Instead, what we received was a gutted shell of a film that failed to impress the critics and left fans feeling dismayed and let down quite often. Is Snyder's vision for everybody? Definitely not. I can think of many things that I myself would have done differently had I have been tasked with helping a cinematic universe to come into existence. But that's not the point, is it? The point is that the Justice League never really completed Zack's vision. It never really made a lot of sense in comparison to the first 2 movies either. For those that claim Zack does not understand these characters, I would state that Josh certainly doesn't either, if that's the case. Heck, I would even go as far to say, if Zack doesn't understand Superman and Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, then Josh certainly does even less. Zack has created, in my opinion, the greatest Batman in movie history. He has succeeded in bringing Aquaman and the Flash to the big screen in a relevant and real, memorable way. And he has casted a Wonder Woman that is so perfect that it seems that she really could be Wonder Woman. Zack and Deborah Snyder and everyone involved in the writing, directing, and acting of this film, and really anybody who did anything to take part in this film's production, should feel extremely proud of this piece of deeply poetic and philosophical cinematic superhero storytelling. And yes, Martian Manhunter is also in the film, and he looks, although different from the comics, fantastic and at a match with the rest of Zack Snyder's DC universe. And no, the Flash does not fall face first into Wonder Woman's chest. Thank God. We can leave that on the cutting room floor, just the same as Joss left 80% of Zack's footage on the cutting room floor. So that is how I felt coming out of the Justice League film. An epic that astounded me, moved me, and also fills me with a slight sensation of, dare I say, grief. That the 3-part epic that may have been the trilogy of this decade will likely never see the light. I enjoyed it. I loved it. And even though it's over 4 hours, I'm sure that I'm going to watch it again and again and again. If you haven't seen this movie, I would highly recommend that you take the time to watch it. You turn off the lights. You grab a couple bags of popcorn, because you will need a couple. It's a very long movie. And you just watch it. It might not be the DC universe that is exact with the source material, but damn is it ever a good movie.